Welcome to another episode of the Modern Black Man Podcast. Last night was the Grammys. Today, me and Doug gonna talk about some things. What's happening?
Man,
What's up, man?
yeah.
Last night was interesting. There was a lot of things going on. Vanessa Monet won. SZA won. I think the people won. Do you feel like you won?
I'm always winning.
That's what's up.
One way or the other, I'm gonna win. One way or the
That's
other.
right.
But you said SZA won, though. I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't really watch too much of it.
SZA won. Vanessa Monet won. I think Coco Jones won. Um, did Beyonce win?
I
I think a lot of new
I,
faces appeared
heard
last
Jay-Z
night.
was crying because she didn't.
I mean, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Let's talk about Jay-Z and let's talk about Beyonce, and we're gonna get through some of the people that were in attendance last night. But Hove, I liked what I saw. He got up there and he said a lot of people didn't deserve to be in the category. He said they might feel robbed, and he said that they might need to get robbed. I thought it was interesting because I listened to Jay-Z. I've been listening to Jay-Z for like 30 years, and I don't think he's still doing what he was talking about in Reasonable Doubt, but he was talking about robbing people last night. He worth billions of dollars. I thought that was ironic.
Jay-Z's. If if,
Oh boy.
if if I heard all what you just said correctly, that means all he did last night was attempt to copy Kanye West.
Ooh, you thinking? The young people call it cap, and I think maybe it was a little bit. He's 50-something years old. He was speaking his mind. He was defending his wife, which I liked, and there was a little bit of tantrum like Kanye West. Yeah, I liked all those things. He didn't just accept what they gave him. He challenged the system. He was outspoken, or he at least spoke out. Jay-Z might have got him. I mean, Hov said some things last night, and I know it's going to move somebody. He does have some technical issues. But I really mean that, though. Like, I'm not mad at Hov. I do think there was a little bit of a Kanye element to it. It did seem like a little bit of a tantrum, and as he matures, there's a lot more of it, and I love it. While we're waiting on Doug, anybody that listens to the Modern Black Man podcast knows we're in season 9. And on the podcast front, it's amazing right now because the monologues are developing. I'm having a lot of fun with them, having a lot of profound conversations. And I invite you to check them out.
Here we go. Yeah, I was having some technical difficulty. I'm not really sure why. I think somebody tried to call me. I don't. What is it about people only want to call me when I'm in?
I know, right? That's the way it works, man. Welcome to the game.
I'm sorry about that.
All right.
But
I was kind of just talking about my podcast. I was talking about how in season 9 we're doing monologues and inviting people to listen to those monologues because I like doing the dialogue thing. I love conversation, and that's why we're doing the vlog right now. That way we can talk about what we saw last night.
So I'll be honest with you. I mean, like I said, I didn't get a lot of time to really watch the Grammys because I don't necessarily care.
Sure.
And that's just me being honest. I'm not trying to act like, I don't care about nothing in the world. Obviously, I do care about plenty of things in the world. But when it comes to, rich people getting accolades, I don't care, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Because when it all boils down to it, I mean, if bricklayers don't lay bricks, then we don't have buildings. If you know what I mean, if architects don't design buildings, we don't have buildings. I care less about the people that's pretending like they running the world just because they're getting paid. But anyway, I digress. Uh, the only thing that struck me about last night was some of the takes that I've been hearing from it. Right. So, and one in particular was that what's this clown's name? Marc Lamont.
Oh, he running all the way to the back of the show. We had so much planned between Marc Lamont Hill and Jay-Z that I think we need to go ahead and get to the main thing. Let's get to the main event. Let's go ahead and conquer the entree. I'm going to surmise this and segue back to you, Doug. My man's Doug, he don't like someone that I have a personal admiration for, someone that I have been supporting for years, someone I have bringing my students around, someone I have been providing the messages from, and I think that we are about to embark on controversial ground, somewhat treacherous ground, and I think my boy is coming to my other homie, Marc Lamont Hill, and I'm in the middle. What's the beef?
You ain't in the middle. Fact of the matter is, guys, what he's trying to say is one night he and I took a slew of young men,
yes,
to go witness what we were led to, well, I should say what I was led to believe was going to be very enlightening information for kids that wanted to, let's say, stay out of prison, right?
yes.
By
Prison
doing the
industrial
right.
contract. We talked about the pipeline, the education to prison pipeline. And Mark Lamont Hill has lots of research. And I invited you to a lecture series that I had invited some of my students to, and it was great. The information was sound. We met a lot of pretty girls that night. I don't regret it.
Yeah, with all that being said, I wasn't at all impressed.
Mm.
I will say that if somebody spends 1-2 hours talking about,
Hey, how's it going?
what's going on, bro? Why people are being locked up rather than why people are being arrested or why people are committing crimes, then that's like telling me you don't necessarily care. You don't care too much about people being in prison. You don't care too much about black incarceration, because he spent no time talking to these young people about following the law and protecting their own households and ensuring that if they have children that they raise them themselves. He didn't spend any time talking about that. What he spent a whole slew of time talking about was nonsensical ideas of you know what? I don't remember.
Say the word you want to say, because I'm about to say it. I know what word you want to use. He wants to go ahead and call him it. Say it. Say it. It's what you think. I mean, I'm here to. This is a
Look,
platform.
man. Look, my bottom line is this. I know for a fact that Lamont Hill, or whatever his name is, Rashad Richie, the black Hitler. They're race baiters, man. All these men sit around doing all day is trying to figure out another way to blame the white man for issues that they don't have in their lives. Mm-hmm. All right, I say that with a heavy heart, because they do not have the issues that they're constantly complaining about, nor do they ever do anything to get to the point of those issues or try to mitigate those issues. I.e., we brought, I want to say
50.
10.
No, 10. We had a bus.
Did we fill the bus?
Yeah, man. We had at least 30 something, 35.
So it was two. Was it two buses or one bus?
It was one bus.
Okay. At any rate, I know for a fact at least 10 of those individuals that we brought were above the age of 21,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And everybody else was between the ages of 18 to 21.
Yeah.
And in my mind, because of what I was preaching to them was, ensuring your education, ensuring your ability to, you know, get out the way and stay out the way, right? Because all of these kids had, issues with whether it be the law or finishing school or their parents or whatever the case may be. They all had really, really simple mitigating circumstances that if they figured those things out, they ultimately would have been fine.
Sure.
But for me to take them to that talk, and all they had to listen to was now how they're the victim. You can't hold up a store with a gun and call yourself the victim. You just can't do it. You can't. And that's what Lamont tries to do. He tries to paint the black race as the victim. The victim of what? Because I mean, for what I'm sure of is I know he has more than $1 million in his account right now, right?
Maybe.
And no, it's not no maybe. He may just because he got fired from the news, and don't mean he lost all his money. They didn't take their money back. He still had his money. He still got book. He still had a book out at the time that we were talking about.
That's right.
So he still
Professor Temple.
Yeah, but I mean, in relation to the situation we're talking about right now. Okay, so when I turn on the TV, let's just say I missed everything, right? Let's just say I missed all of the Grammys. Let's say that I didn't know that he had got 3 Grammys. And congratulations to him, by the way.
Congrats, Killa Mike.
And I say congratulations just because I guess that's what people are expected to say. But quite honestly,
he won a Grammy for Scientists and Engineers. He won a Grammy for Album of the Year. Killa Mike. He did it all. He got the sweep. He was 3 for 3. And then talking about victimhood, our brother was arrested. Free Mike. I wasn't there.
Well, I mean, what I was gonna say is I don't see any congratulatory reasoning. I don't see no reason to test my congratulations for a Grammy. I mean, I don't. I mean, because I don't see any value in it, but they do. Okay, so that's why I'm saying congratulations, because he finds value in that sort of thing. So, kudos to him. The fact of the matter is, if I hadn't seen any of that, and I had turned on the TV and saw him being walked through the through the building,
Crypto.com arena.
I don't give a dog on what the place is called. I'm not giving no shout out to white people for the things that they get paid to do. That's what I'm saying. You have no problem trying to plug other people for I don't.
Well, it's factual. I love facts, and informationally, that's where it was. Who, what, when, where, why. $5.
Informationally, that's what they want you to ensure that you say, so that people can always be willing to invest more money into cryptocurrency, knowing that they're never gonna make a dime off of it. Anyway, I digress again. I'm trying to stay digressed. He's like, Brian likes to push my buttons, y'all.
No, not pushing your buttons. I'm helping. I'm trying to.
I literally just didn't want to say cryptocurrency building. I really just didn't want to say it. But anyway, if I never saw all of that and I just saw him being walked through, the first question that would have popped in my mind not is why are they pulling this black man out for being black, or why are they doing this on such a monumentous occasion in his life? You know what I'm going to ask? What did he do? You know why? Because that's what you ask when somebody is in handcuffs. Now, they may not have done anything, and that's probably what most of you clowns are saying right now is he didn't do nothing. You don't know that. You don't know that. And the problem I had with Lamont is his inability to just wait a second before he just jump out there and start blaming his black skin for the reason why he in handcuffs. Because
black skin, or is he defending a black man?
How's he defending him? He's not getting paid for the defense. He wasn't even arrested. He was detained. And out of Lamont's out of his own mouth, out of his own admission, is he probably wasn't arrested. He probably wasn't arrested. He probably was just sent. He probably went, and they probably gonna let him go. That's what they said was going to happen, and that's probably all that did happen, right? So, I asked the question of this. Okay, now this may worry, some of you, because you don't, pay attention to all news. You only pay attention to news that you can get in 30 seconds. So there you have two or three politicians that are facing litigation right now. You got 5 or 6 black politicians that are being investigated right now. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is none of you have thought to ask the question, is there something wrong with us? As opposed to, is there something wrong with the quote unquote system? But if there was something wrong with the system, if I was to lean towards the system having a problem, is it the problem that you don't know what system that you're a part of? you don't necessarily know that we have been programmed to vote a specific way for 50 straight years, and the president that had put into effect said it would happen. And
if you don't vote for me, you ain't.
Huh?
If you don't vote for me, you ain't.
No. That's the one that's keeping it going. I'm talking about Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson said, I had these niggas voting Democrat for 50 years. And y'all doing it.
LBJ.
Huh?
I love LBJ. That's my favorite.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. Because you think that he was the one that put that act into effect when the majority of Democrats that year voted against it.
Well, I'm actually looking at LBJ right now for my townhome, and I'm in love with LBJ because those of us that are familiar with that history, the phone call he made to Martin Luther King, where he called him out of his name, he called him the N-word because he was a Dixiecrat, a racist Democrat from Texas. And he was very profound and correct when he said that he would have niggas voting Democrat for the next 50 years.
He did say that.
Absolutely.
He did
very
say
well
that.
documented. Very well documented.
But I mean, funny part about it is this. See, we as black people, we vote for the person. We don't vote for the
we vote for
policy.
the idea, not the merit.
We don't vote for the policies. We don't vote based on their policies. We vote based on the person. What's even worse about that is we don't even care what that person represents. Now, he just told you that he was a Dixiecrat, right? You just said that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? You think black people cared at all? No, they didn't care at all. They didn't care at all.
Black people
didn't care at all that Biden literally said, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. Like he is out there with a paintbrush, paint people a different color if they voted a different direction. You know what I'm saying?
Like the source of blackness.
Yeah, he did. They voted for him even after he said that Obama was the first clean black dude that he had ever seen. Right? Right? They voted for him after he was the one that said that he would never be for desegregating the schools and allowing schools to be turned into jungles. I mean, think about all of this stuff. Like, none of this stuff mattered to black people. You know why? Because they were so convinced that the Democrats were for black people because of that one bill that Lyndon B. Johnson let pass.
Well, let's talk about that though, because you know that it caused a sway because black Americans, going back to Abe Lincoln, typically voted Republican because that's who gave us our freedom. It took about 100 years for things to be reversed. and a Dixiecrat was the one that was responsible for it. It was a different world then. I don't think people were as informed as they possibly should have been. And it is about policies. I think in the current era, you have a lot of pundits who say Democrats come into communities and or neighborhoods to create problems so they can run on a political agenda to solve them, yet these problems are never solved.
Is that not a fair assessment?
I mean, I think that's an identification of politics as a whole. It
Think of
does
this. Let
not
me ask
just
you a
one
question.
party.
Let me ask you a question. How long have they been promising reparation?
Oh, I don't know about how long they've been promising reparation. I don't think that reparation is realistic, and I don't think it'll happen in this racist country. But
you're right. I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. I don't. I wouldn't call the country racist, but I wouldn't say that it was a possibility because of simple fact. You can't tell me why I deserve to get paid for something that I never went through. Also, if the person that is promising and never has any intention on paying it, then there's no point of ever. All I gotta do is just renew the promise. I just have to renew the promise. I just have to keep bringing it up. And matter of fact, I'll do you
get
one
votes.
rather than me bring it up. If let's just say I was if I was a white politician, I don't have to bring it up. No, I'll get people like Marc, Lamont, and Richie, racist Richie to continuously talk about it in a sense that it is owed to us. Because you know what? They went to Howard, so they know how to talk to black folk.
I know. Okay, I'll leave that alone. I don't know where
They
everybody
don't.
thinks
You
that.
you ever been to Howard before?
I've been to Howard.
I know you've been to Howard. So my question to you is: are there not intelligent people coming out of Howard?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are these
Incredible.
intelligent people not actually born in the hood most of the time?
Yes.
Okay, so if I was born in the hood, but I now have an education, does that mean that I still do not know those that are in the hood?
No.
That means that I do know how to reach them, right? I do know what affects their mind. I do know what bothers their hearts. I do know what bothers their heads.
Right.
I know how to talk to them. So
Okay.
I would implore those people. That's what I would implore to keep the plantation of Democrats running smoothly. And it's been running smoothly because you got people like the two I keep naming. You got people like Al Sharpton, and that one dude that was fat now skinny now. I mean, you got all of these clowns that's just running around trying to ensure that we are beyond sure that we're the victim in this situation. But when is the last time you remember being poor? When was the last time you remember losing a job because of your color? When was the last time you remember being beat because of your color? When was the last time you remember being kicked off a bus because of your color? Last time you remember not being able to do anything because of your color? You would have to infer those things. You can't prove those things because those things don't exist no more. And that's the problem, is people don't think, man. We don't think as a people. That's why I say we're so far behind, because we don't respect ourselves.
That new age entitlement
Others to respect us.
New age entitlement holds us back. I certainly agree with that. But I do believe that there's racism in the world, and I do believe that something we haven't embarked on yet is talking about caused racism, caused problems, perception and identity problems that may become in our current era. Would you agree to that?
You gotta have to elaborate a little bit.
I think that blackness is opposed in our culture, in our society.
That's impossible. That's impossible. See, I have to stop you right there, because when you
Please.
say stuff like that, and the beehive is as loud as it is, and it ain't just chuck full of black chicks. Okay, this woman has a literal religion following her. So obviously, it's not frowned upon to be black anymore. She has a literal religion that is named after her. Okay, Oprah Winfrey has a following bigger than any white man you can think of.
And that's cool. You think that there is no racism? I definitely hear.
I don't think. Of course there are racist people. When you
Mm.
say racism, that requires the system to be prevalent and available, and
And I
useful.
think the
I should say
patriarchy is
useful.
the reinforcement of this system. I
I should
truly
say
do believe that.
to the person that's racist. So let's just say, let me ask you a question. Can you name for me? I don't know. Can you name for me the Grand Wizard of Ku Klux Klan?
Donald Trump, I'm sorry, his grandfather.
Come on, man. Let's just be let's keep it
It
real
came
for,
from Scotland. Look at the coat of arms. I mean, yes, they're Klansmen.
okay. The Klan did not come from Scotland. Okay,
Okay,
that was formed here in America. So
it was.
let's not BS around the conversation. Let's
But
just
I do know a little history about that Klan, and it was a terrorist group created in the United States in post free post abolitionist America during the period of Reconstruction. In the South, they terrorized, they lynched, they murdered, and they had an imbalance of power against what some would say are our ancestors, the
okay.
people that
So
we
I mean,
descended from.
I know you got you're practicing to be a politician. I asked you one simple question. I said, name for me the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan today.
David Duke
Okay.
in Louisiana.
Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you seen David Duke on the news?
With Donald Trump
I
this
said
year.
on the news.
I'm
Because the
telling
last
you,
time you
he
saw
supports
anything
Donald
representing
Trump, and
Donald
it
Trump
keeps
and
coming
David
back to
Duke,
bite them because
you
this
saw
is
you.
how race
That's what I'm saying.
politics work.
That's my problem with you, man. It's like you have an inability to tell the truth sometimes, bro.
No. He was on the news
The
this
last
year.
time Donald Trump said anything about David Duke, it was him on national television saying that he absolutely unequivocally disavows David Duke, the Ku Klux Klan, and any other white nationalist organization. I heard him say it out of his own mouth.
Okay, I believe
Okay,
that you
so
would
the
have.
fact of the
Okay,
matter is I'm not talking about Trump. So let's not try to give black people a reason to just stay angry. Let's just stay on the conversation. The
okay.
conversation is simple. That I'm trying to ask I should say the line of question I'm trying to ask you is simple.
Mm-hmm.
When I asked you about who is the Grand Wizard of Ku Klux Klan, you said David Duke.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know that to be true. I do know him to be a leader of a white nationalist organization. And I'm pretty sure it's not the KKK, but that's fine.
Hey Alexa, is David Duke still the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan? She ignored me.
Okay,
Hey Alexa,
let's just move on.
is David Duke alive?
I want to get to the reason why I'm asking the question. My question is,
He's 73 years old. He's 73, still kicking.
okay, so my question to you is simple. In reference to the Ku Klux Klan,
Mm-hmm.
just use the Ku Klux Klan since you want to continuously bring them up. When
Okay.
was the last time that the Ku Klux Klan prevented you from doing anything?
I've never seen it.
You've never seen the Ku Klux Klan?
I would hope that an organization
I mean,
that
you've been
operates
living
with
a long
sheets on their
time, almost
heads
40 years.
as ghosts of the Confederacy from a war that was lost 200 years ago goes in full anonymity. So yes, I've never seen it. I hope that they work covertly. I assume that they're the police, our congressmen, FBI agents, teachers, and in our communities. But I'm not blaming them for
But
anything.
what if you were right though?
Yeah, I believe. I know that they're
What if
out
you were
there.
right? What if you were right and they were our politicians?
They are.
But what if they were the wrong politicians that you? What if the mind fuck was so severe and so deep
Mm-hmm.
that you had no idea that it was happening to you too? What
Okay.
if?
What if?
I'm just saying. What
I'll accept that premise.
if my goal as as the KKK of 2024 was to convince the race that I hate the most to just follow me. But by follow me, I need them to believe that I have their best interests at hand. I mean, I can't imagine a slave owner that didn't want to convince their slaves of that much.
I'll give you full credence and I'll jump ahead. The Democratic Party could be the Klan.
The Democratic Party was started by I mean, was
Okay.
fun. I mean, the Klan was part of that group. I'm just saying, why do you think that stopped? I mean, think about how long politicians are in office.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how long somebody can stay in charge of a district or a state for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like you act like these people are only in not you specifically, but I mean a
Sure.
person only in power for 2-3 years like a president. They in
No.
power for 10, 13, 20 years sometimes. You
Joe Biden's a career politician. He's been doing this for
50
50 something.
years. 50 years. This man you think he changed his mind because he got old? No.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know what goes on in their minds. I just know that in 2024, our lives are so nuanced, shaped, and affected by these politicians that only a fool would not be able to either admit or parse these things. That's all.
My question to you is here's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you find wrong with Blexit?
What do I find wrong with who?
With Blexit. You never heard of this organization, huh?
No. What's it called?
Yeah, Blexit. It's
Black leaders against.
no, it's pretty much might as well just say Black Exit.
Okay. I don't have any issues with Black excellence. I think that we should all aspire and thrive to be greater in ourselves and in our interactions in our communities. Most definitely. I don't know if we have a technical, but while we try to regain connection, I love the points that Doug's making. Um, I may not agree with everything, but I'm glad that he's bringing his points to the table. Very much so. I don't want to lose battery either. We might have a connection issue. We will have a part We will have a part 2. Excellent conversation right now. Sorry about the technical issues.